Hello, my dear viewers. My name is Anna, and I'm already over 50. I'm sitting here in my cozy living room, with a cup of tea in my hands, looking out the window at the autumn leaves. You know, at my age, you realize that life isn't just a chain of events, it's a real boomerang. Whatever you throw out into the world will come back to you sooner or later. Sometimes with a smile, and sometimes with such force that it knocks you off your feet. Today, I want to tell you a story from my life that happened many years ago but still burns in my soul. It's a story about love, betrayal, and that very karma that doesn't forgive mistakes. I'll tell it just as I experienced it myself, in the first person. Get comfortable, because this will be long, dramatic, and full of intrigue that will make you hold your breath. It all started in 1995. I was 28 years old, working as an accountant in a small company in Moscow. Life seemed simple and predictable: work, friends, occasional dates. And then he appeared, Dmitry. Tall, charming, with eyes the color of an autumn sky. He was a manager in the same company, and our paths crossed at a corporate party. I remember how he approached me with a glass of champagne and said, "Anna, you're like a puzzle I want to solve." I laughed, but something fluttered inside me. We started dating, and a year later, he proposed. On one knee, with a ring in his hands, under the rain in the park. Romantic, right? I thought it was the beginning of a fairy tale. The wedding was set for the summer of 1996. We chose a cozy restaurant on the outskirts of the city, Golden Autumn. Not too fancy, but warm, with a view of the river. There were about 50 guests, family, friends, colleagues. My mom was crying from happiness. Dmitry's father was patting him on the back and saying, "Now you're a family." I was in a white lace dress that I sewed myself, and Dmitry was in a sharp suit. We danced "The Wind from the Sea Blue" by Natali, kissed amid applause, and the world seemed perfect. But you know, every fairy tale has a shadow. A week before the wedding, I noticed Dmitry getting nervous. He often left, on business, answering calls in a whisper. I chalked it up to pre-wedding stress. All men are like that, my friend Lena reassured me. And at the wedding itself. Oh, when I remember it, my heart aches. During the best man's toast, his friend Sergey, Dmitry suddenly turned pale. Sergey said something like, "Dima, you've finally settled down, after all those adventures." Everyone laughed, but I saw Dmitry clench his fist under the table. I didn't pay much attention then. The celebration continued. Cake, fireworks, first dance. We left for the hotel, full of happiness. Or so I thought. The next morning, as the sun was just peeking through the curtains, the phone rang. I reached for it. Dmitry was still asleep. The voice on the other end was female, businesslike. "Hello, Anna. This is the administrator from the Golden Autumn restaurant. My name is Olga. We reviewed the security camera footage. You need to see this yourself. Come alone, and don't tell your husband anything. Please, it's important." My heart sank. What? Cameras? What could have happened? Theft? A fight? I quietly got dressed, left a note, going to pick up forgotten things from the restaurant, and rushed there. The drive felt eternal. My mind raced with worst-case scenarios. Maybe a guest got drunk and broke something. Or worse, an accident. But why alone? Why not tell Dmitry? The restaurant was empty, only cleaners mopping the floors. Olga, a woman in her 40s with tired eyes, met me at the entrance. "Come to the office," she said quietly. We sat at the desk, and she turned on the monitor. "This is from the cameras in the hall and kitchen. Watch carefully. First recording. Our hall, guests dancing. Nothing unusual. Then the kitchen camera. There was Dmitry, with my sister. No, wait. It wasn't my sister. It was Irina, my childhood friend. She was at the wedding as a guest. On the video, they stood close, too close. Dmitri hugged her waist, whispered something in her ear. She laughed and kissed him on the cheek. It's just a friendly kiss, I thought. But Olga fast-forwarded. Second recording, the hallway near the restrooms. Dmitri and Irina slipped away there during a break. He pinned her against the wall, kissed her passionately, like he kissed me on our first date. Her hands in his hair, his under her dress. I froze. This can't be. But video doesn't lie. They kissed for 2 minutes, then Irina pulled away. Dima, this is madness. She's my friend. He replied, forget it. It'll all end after the wedding. Then they returned to the hall as if nothing happened. I sat staring at the screen, tears streaming down my cheeks. Olga put a hand on my shoulder. I saw it by accident while checking for theft. I couldn't stay silent. Women should stick together. I nodded, but inside a storm raged. Betrayal. At my wedding. With my friend. How? Why? I left with a copy of the video on a cassette. At home, Dmitri was awake, frying eggs. Where were you? He asked cheerfully. I lied, picking up flowers. But inside I thought, Karma, where are you? Why me? But this was just the beginning. The intrigue was just unfolding, and the boomerang of karma hadn't returned yet. To be continued in part 2. Subscribe so you don't miss it. Friends, thank you for coming back. In the first part, I told you about the wedding and that shocking call. Now let's dive deeper into the drama. Life is like a boomerang, remember? You throw out betrayal, and it comes back, sometimes years later, with double the force. I'm continuing my story, and believe me, the intrigue is only building. Hold on tight. After that visit to the restaurant, I came home in turmoil. Dmitri noticed my red eyes, something wrong. I shook my head, tired from yesterday. But inside, I was boiling. How to live with this? Tell him. Divorce right away. I decided to wait, observe. Maybe it was a mistake, a one-time impulse. How naive I was. A week passed. We went on our honeymoon to the Black Sea. Sun, beach, but I couldn't relax. Every time he kissed me, I saw that video. Why Irina? I wondered. We'd been friends since childhood. School, university, secrets shared. She was single after her divorce, but betray a friend. At night, I couldn't sleep, replaying it, karma will catch them. It has to. Back home, I called Irina. Hi, how are you? Let's meet. She agreed, but her voice trembled. We sat in a cafe. I looked at her, beautiful, with red hair, but guilty eyes. Ira, I said directly, I know about you and Dima at the wedding. She went pale as a sheet. Anya, forgive me. It was stupid. He said he loves you, but we were seeing each other before the wedding. For several months. He promised to end it, but couldn't. Several months. Not a one-time kiss, but an affair. The world collapsed. She cried. I didn't want to. He convinced me you weren't right for each other. But after the wedding, I said, stop. I stood up and left without a word. At home, confrontation awaited. Dmitri came from work. I played the video. Explain this. He sat, staring at the floor. Anya, it was a mistake. Ira is the past. I love you. But his eyes gave away the lie. I screamed. At our wedding. With my friend. He made excuses. Stress, alcohol. Let's forget. Forget. No. I packed my things and went to my mom's. Divorce, I said. The months after were hell. Court, dividing property. Dmitri begged, give me a chance. But trust was gone. Irina disappeared from my life, moved to another city. I thought that was the end. But karma is cunning. It waits for the right moment. 5 years passed. I met Alexei, kind, reliable. We got married, had a son. Life got better. And Dmitri. He married someone else, but rumors reached me. He cheats, drinks. Once his sister called, "Anya, Dima's in trouble. His wife left, took everything. Cheated with a lover." I smirked. The boomerang returned. But that's not all. The intrigue deepened when I learned about Irina. She got married, but her husband cheated on her, at their wedding. With her friend. Classic. She called me years later, "Anya, forgive me. Now I understand." I replied, "Karma is a boomerang. I'm not the judge." Then came the climax. In 2005, Dmitry called, "Anya, help. I'm sick, cancer. Alone." I went to the hospital. He lay there, thin, with tubes. "Forgive me. I ruined everything." Tears flowed. "Karma?" I asked. He nodded. "Yes. Everything comes back. But wait, that's not the end. In the third part, everything will whirl into a storm." Subscribe. Hello again, my dear ones. We're at the final part. Recall. The wedding, betrayal, divorce. Now, the climax, where karma shows its power. Life teaches us that nothing goes unpunished. The intrigue reaches its peak, and I'll tell you how it all ended. For you, aged 45 to 65, this will resonate. Thoughts on forgiveness, mistakes, and second chances. In the hospital, Dmitry looked broken. "Anya," he whispered, "I don't deserve your visit. But thank you." I sat by the bed, remembering the good, our walks, laughter. "Why did you cheat?" I finally asked. He sighed. "Stupidity. Thought I could have it all. Ira was an adventure, but you were love. Too late." I left, and in the hallway, I met his doctor. "Prognosis is poor," he said. At home, I cried. Not from love, from pity. Karma is harsh but fair. A month later, Dmitry died. At the funeral was his ex-wife, with her lover. Irony. Boomerang. With Irina, we met a year later. She came to Moscow. "Anya, I've changed. After my husband's betrayal, I understood your pain." We talked for hours. "Karma is a lesson," I said. We reconciled, but the friendship didn't return. She left, started a family, but with scars. My life. Alexei and I lived 20 years together. Our son grew up, grandchildren came. But the story teaches, trust, but verify. Karma is a boomerang that teaches goodness. Throw out good, it returns tenfold. Bad, it strikes back. Friends, this is my story. Drama, intrigue, lessons. Share yours in the comments. See you soon.